Hi everyone, welcome back. Now after seeing some of the basic tools we have in Maya, it's time for us to look at the Quadro tool, which is a very important tool that we use when we are dealing with the concept of retopology in Maya, especially when you model the character either in ZBrush or in Blender and you want to now rig them for an actual production, either in a project, a movie, or even a short films. Now, let's jump into Maya. Now let's look at what we have here. In Maya, if I go to my modeling toolkit on the far right up here, I will see a tool called Quadro. Now, Quadro is a tool that Maya has that helps us to actually retopologize an object. All right? In essence, it basically creates quads. And when we talk about retopology, it is that unavoidable step in production pipeline that basically helps us to get a kind of flow of edges around characters' organic parts of organs. Like, for instance, we have muscles around the eyes, around the nose, around the mouth, even the jaws. So, on the eyebrows, rather. So, when we model characters basically from ZBrush or Blender, they come in as just squared faces. For instance, let's say we have a model here. Let me go to my content browser. I'm going to go down to bipeds. I'm going to click a head here. All right, in Maya, I want to scale this down to around 0.5, just to show you what we mean. Okay. I'm going to up this guy upward. Now, if we have something like this as an example, basically, I want to sculpt on it. Let's say we are using some of Maya's sculpting tools. We want to sculpt on this. We don't necessarily get enough resolution when we are sculpting. Okay? And so when we need resolution in a base mesh, we basically up the subdivisions. So let's say I turn the subdivisions to around 3. Okay? So now I have a lot of subdivisions that when I now sculpt on this, I can basically get a good, resolution for sculpting to actually happens. All right. So this is the same trick that most of the sculpting tools like ZBrush or Blender uses. They turn up the resolution over time after getting the shape of the mesh. Then they now sculpt, especially when they're adding details. Now, why are we saying all this? Now, let's just see, we want to add some nose trees here, right? And add that. I'm going to do just a basic sculpt here. It's an instance. All right, so okay. So by the way, I turn on symmetry in world X direction, and I just want to show you that we retopologize for a reason, right? And I'll basically outline the reasons why we retopologize. And let's just say we have the areas around the eyebrow, for instance, like. Let's say we have these areas, smoothing these areas out and have those, okay? And eye socket and even the base shape of the mouth, okay? Okay, so let's just say we have something that looks like this. This is not perfect, but I think it serves the purpose of the explanation or the example. Now, when you bring in characters from ZBrush or wherever you model them from, they basically come in this way. They come in with these squared faces, and the resolution or density of a mesh might be too much that it doesn't really allow for ease of other faces that will be encountered in the actual production. Let's say, for example, this face will be rigged. This will not help in skin weight painting. This will not even help the viewport navigation, basically. And we are doing rigging. We paint skin weights. We also unwrap. And while you unwrap, we encounter a lot of difficulties when you're unwrapping something these dense. So what we do is we actually retopologize all of this so that it will help the rigging artist when he's rigging. You will see the flow of edges around the eyeballs, the eye socket rather, the eyebrow, the nose, the jaw, the mouth. And those flow basically help in skin, especially when they are deforming them. Now let me show you an example of something that has been rigged, a face that has been rigged, so you see how the topology flows. So I'm going to jump over to another instance of Maya. So we'll see. Now this is a rigged face, it's an old character anyway. Now if you look at the face here, you see if I turn off the curves, you see the flow of my edges around the eyes. Okay. You also see the flow of the edges around the nostrils down to the lower part of the jaw, or the jaw itself, under the lip, even the lip, you see it. Now I have some examples I could show you of other characters that have been made by other people, other artists. You see how this edges flow around the eyelid, the eyebrow, even the forehead. Now look at the nose area and the mouth. So this is very much essential in production, so that rigging artists could deform this properly, and might even help the UV unwrapping artists to texture them, but especially for deformation. All right. So you see this. Another example is this again. It's not just for humans, also animals too can be. Their faces can be retopologized as long as a character will be used in production. Especially if it will pass through the stage of rigging, you have to basically retopologize your character. All right, this is another example we have. So now let's jump back to Maya, to the reason why I said it helps the rigging artist. Now if I turn on the controls, this face has been rigged. If you look at the eye lid, the socket, you see that you have this deformation around here, and it deforms properly, okay, because of the flow of the edges you have around the eyelid. All right, and not just that, when we look at the jaw, okay, if I should open the character's mouth, all right, and even as we have this, let's say we have this, okay, if we still deform these characters, you see that the flow of the edges around the mouth helps the character a lot, or helps the deformation of the character since it has been rigged. Okay, so you see how this flows, and definitely because it is low poly, it will basically not be as hard as this other one here when we are skin painting or skin weight painting. Okay, so that is just what we have. That is why we actually use retopology. All right, so now how do we go about it? First, we have to make an object live. Okay, I have to make an object a live surface before we can actually use it. If I click on this and do this, not actually doing anything sensible. All right, so what we'll do is turn off this and go to an object mode of this object. Then we click on live. This is the button here, this one that looks like a magnet. So click on this. Now this object is now a live object, right? So if we come down here, chord draw, now we can actually now start creating quads on the surface of our object. So I can drop. Now because we have the word quad, you have to draw at least 4 points or 4 vertices for you to create an actual face. Okay, so that's where we have the word quad draw. So when 1, 2, 3, 4, then if you click somewhere at the center, holding down our shift key, it creates a face for us. And if you notice, what happens here is that the face will lie exactly on the surface of the live object, right? So that way we can now drop more points. 1, 2. I can hold shift to drop a face here. And like I said, 4 points at least. Now we're having 2 here. What's the reason for us having a face, even if you have 2? It's because this 2 is also saying a point here and a point here. So it's actually 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When we hold down shift, click at the center, we have a face. All right. So when we do this, you can even click drag on a point that has been previously created, okay, to align them properly like that. So if I want to emulate the example I have here in my viewport, all right, I can use CorelDRAW to basically drop those points and create spaces around them so that I might start having what I actually need. So that is how the CorelDRAW works. There are other functions that we can look up. The CorelDRAW, for instance, if I hold down Control, okay, I can subdivide a face. In essence, it's as if you are connecting a ring of edges together with the Control button. So when you hold down Control, click on this, subdivide. Okay. When you hold down Shift, click drag, you could basically relax the edges that you have around. Hold down Shift for relax, hold down Control for connect. All right, I won't subdivide the face. So when you click, you are dropping points. You even click once, then it counts the remaining 4 points for you. When you click and drop, it drops that out for us. All right. So as long as you're dragging any point you on the created face, right, with the CorelDRAW tool, it will basically exit the surface of your object. So it will stick to the surface of your object. That way, you know that you're not passing or penetrating through the surface of an object. And while you drop points all the way, you know, you can do this. You can drop multiple points at the same time. Not just dropping 2. All right. So this is how the CorelDRAW works. Can divide more and move points around. Hold Shift to relax. Hold Control to subdivide. Okay. Now with this, we could basically go around our object organs like the eye socket, the nose area, the mouth, even the forehead to basically get the flow of our edges. So that is how the CorelDRAW works. If you double click on the CorelDRAW options, you will see the settings I just used. I use relax, I use extend, then the CorelDRAW strip width is set to 20. All right. Now you could auto weld join points or vertices that are 10 units or less than 10 units away from each other. All right. So that is how the CorelDRAW works. And there are other things we could see, like the color of our CorelDRAW mesh. We change that to blue that it was before. And these are the shortcuts. Okay. Basically, you can memorize this while you retopologize an object. So that is how this works. And when you're done, turn off the CorelDRAW object, go down to your object mode. Now you have an object, right, for you. So you can hide, you can turn off live mode and hide your object. You now have a retopologized mesh or geometry. By the way, I turn on World X symmetry while I'm using my CorelDRAW, so it appears on the other side of the mesh. So that is all we have for today. When we come back next time, we'll see what other tools we have in Maya. So have a good day. Bye for now.